Welcome back to my channel, everybody. My name's Kevin, this is Beznuts, and today we're doing more Director things. So, in today's video, we are going to be using Director from a container. What we're going to do is pull down a container from Quay, or Key. I don't know how to pronounce it. Either way, we're going to pull down a container, we're going to start it in server mode, and we're going to do so in a rootless environment using Podman. And what that is going to do is basically give us a Director server running isolated in a container, which we can start, stop, etc. as needed with prejudice for any reason. Basically, this setup allows us to use a containerized solution for delivering the Director server within an environment. So we don't have to install anything. Pull the container, pass some parameters, start it. So let's jump into it. So let's get to containerizing. Basically, if we refer to the Director documentation, there's a whole bunch of different information that's available here. One of the different categories that we have is containerization. Under that, we can talk about building the container, running the container, pulling the container, doing all kinds of different container-y thingamies, right? Lots to do, lots that's possible. So what we're going to do is pull the container, right? We're going to pull the container. Then we're going to start the Director service in a container and make sure that it in fact returns the same help information that we see when running Director inside of a virtual environment. So pretty simple, right? All right, here we go. First thing first, SSH over into our Director server node where this container is going to run. As you can see, I am an end user and we're going to use Podman. Yikes, Podman's not installed. So let's take care of that. All right, Podman is being installed. Whew, crisis averted. Just a little bit more paint to dry. This is very slow drying paint. Oh gosh, I almost died. Okay, Podman is installed. So let's go ahead and go back to our documentation and pull back the command we need to run. Because I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy and paste it. Again, you'll notice I am running Podman as an end user. So this is going to be a rootless container running our Director server. There's our container. All right, so now all we need to do is follow the instructions on what we need to do to run the Director server. The very first thing it tells us that I need to do is to go ahead and create user local share director. Now let's talk about this path real quick, because user local share director is a path on the root file system outside of the user's home folder. But what it's intended to do is be a place where you can put your orchestration files, your execution files, your things, so that Director could use them. That's it. That's all it is. It's just a place so that Director can use the same path that you would expect in your environment. The next thing that it tells you that you need to do is make sure that your user has the ability to write files and folders within that directory. The next thing that we're going to do, which can really go anywhere, but it needs to be targeted within the Director etc director path, is create the etc director path. This is where any configuration, keys, etc. are going to go as well, which again ensures that we can configure Director within the server without actually having to interact with any configuration files within the container. So let's go ahead and create those things, and then we'll make sure that our ownership is correct, and then we'll start our Director container, right? We're going to take this command wholesale and run it. Pretty simple. Let's get it. So first, let's make the directory. Directory is made. Let's make another directory. Etc director. Now let's set the ownership. Oh, more sudo. And now we'll go ahead and run the Director server in our container. Pretty easy peasy. Let's take a look at the container itself, which should be running. It was started 9 seconds ago. That's amazing. but let's do something useful with it. So we're going to go ahead and touch on our touchless operations. We can exec the director client from within the container on our CentOS 8 environment. And we're going to use a little function to do that for us, giving us the look and feel of using director on the base operating system, even though it happens to be running within the container. More on that here, because, covered in more detail with more words, but let's just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and clear our happy-dappy little terminal. And now we'll create our function. Let's talk about this function real quick. It basically runs podman, exec, director server, which is the container we created, goes to the director server bin, sets the socket path, and then accepts all the arguments that you could pass to it. So, just like our virtual environment, we'll run director help. And ta-da! It tells us everything we need to know about director and what we're actually going to be running within it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Anyways, that's it. That's running director in a container. And that wraps up our container tomfoolery. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was fun. I hope it was informative. If you like what we're doing, please give the video a like. If you don't, well then don't. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. If you've stayed here or you've been following these tutorials, I greatly appreciate your time, the effort you're putting into just hanging out and watching. Like, subscribe, information in the descriptions below. Check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, all at Peznats. And thank you again.